Okay, good. Okay, so today is 5/17/22. So our objective really is going to be to add or subtract rational expressions. What we need is a common denominator. Common denominator. That's our lesson, is really getting the common denominator. Right there. So rational expression just means a fancy word for a fraction. And I'll back up and let you get caught up, okay? So we're going to add or subtract rational expressions, okay? And the term rational expression is just a fancy math word for fraction, okay? Today, though, we're going to need a common denominator because you can't add them unless we have a common denominator. So, yeah. So, need a common denominator. We have to have a common denominator. Can't add them unless we do. Okay, I like to use red because when I use red, then I can show my work, my multiply, right? How am I doing? Am I going too fast? So let's take a look at number 1. So if I take a look at number 1, I got a 2x and an x. I want them the same. I got a 2x and an x. I want them the same. So I could probably make that a 2x. Couldn't I make that a 2x? I can make that a 2x just by multiplying by 2 over 2. And you have to do the 2 over 2, okay? And this is such an easy answer, okay? Top and bottom has to be the same because that's the number 1. Isn't that the number 1? Anytime you multiply anything by 1, you don't change the fraction. That's why you got to do the same top and bottom. So we don't want to change the value of the fraction, but we need a common denominator. Okay? So now let's rewrite. Let's rewrite what we have, okay? So now I'm going to have a, seem pretty easy? 3 over 2x plus 16 over 2x, right? And now we have a common denominator, right? So what I'll do then is, if I have a common denominator, just write it down, okay? There's my common denominator, 2x, write it down. And then let's add our numerators. 3 plus 16 is 19. If I can reduce, I will. Reduce, question mark. There she is. And I can't reduce, so I'm done. That's all I can do. Okay, Lucy, here we go. Perfect time. Just started. Okay, so we're done. So that's our answer. That's all it took. Wasn't that easy?
Thank you.
Isn't that easy? All right, now number 2.
Giselle.
Cassie, put that phone back.
This is Giselle.
Don't be tempted.
That's Cassidy. I can just bump her.
Okay, that is a subtraction, okay? Just a little itty bit subtraction. Okay, I need a common denominator, right?
3y.
So,
3, wait, no. I'm lost. Multiply it by y.
okay, multiply this one by y over y. Totally agree. Yes. So that makes it a 6xy, doesn't it?
Doesn't even make sense.
So that I agree. Y is correct. Now what do we need over here? We need to make, yes, because we need to make this 6xy, so I agree with the 2 over 2. So then we have a common denominator. So I'll have a 8 over a 6xy minus a 8y over a 6xy, right?
Yeah.
Once we have the common denominator, we can say, okay, let's just write it down. 6xy, we can combine them, we can subtract them. So I'm just going to now just go 8 subtract 8y, which is just 8 subtract 8y. That will factor, but it won't do us any good. Okay, you with me? I mean, I'll show you. I could factor out an 8 and have a 1 minus y over a, oh, there's a little bit of reducing we could do, actually. There's a little bit. We're going to do this a little bit. You guys see a little bit of reducing I can do right here? I can reduce it a little bit. 4/3. Okay, see the 4/3?
And yeah,
4/3.
that's just.
So I've got 4.
Is, page.
So there's my reducing. Okay. Now that's all I can do. There's nothing else.
What time? That I do not know.
Okay, how am I doing?
I want to say 11.
Okay, let's say 11. Let's do example 3 instead. Okay. Now, example 3. What I want to do is I'm going to factor first. So if I factor that, it's actually going to make it easier. I think you're going to see this in a second. So if I can factor this, it's going to make it easier. So, all right, let's see. If I factor, they both have a multiple of 3 in common. They both have an x in common. So they have a 3 and an x in common. So I have a common factor out of 3x. Let's see what I got. Let's see, be an x plus 2, right? Now, I think that's going to help me now, isn't it? So again, I need them to be the same, right? They both have an x plus 2. Yeah, but
Multiply by 3x.
yes, see, this is not so bad. 3x. All right, good. So I have my common denominator of an 8 over 3x times an x plus 2 minus a 6x squared over a 3x times an x plus 2, right? I'm not done because I'm going to subtract them now, right? Well, good. I have a common denominator, right? So I'm going to have to bring this up over here because I'm running out of room. I'll bring that over here. So I have my common denominator of a 3x times an x plus 2, right? And then I'm subtract 8 subtract 6x squared. It's just a 8 subtract a 6x squared, right? That's it. Honestly, that's it. If I take out a 2, it won't do me any good. There's nothing. I can't do anything with that. So that's got to be my answer. I'd like to do something else with it, reduce it or whatever, but it doesn't. What do you think? Not too bad? So when we factored, go back here. By factoring, it sure made this easier, didn't it? Right? When we factored, it sure made that easier. Made it a lot easier. Okay, ready to turn the page? Wait, let's see. Okay, turn the page. All right, so now, well, example 4. Nothing will factor, but we need to make them the same. How about if I multiply the first fraction by x plus 8 and the second fraction by x minus 2? So I'll take and I'll multiply the first fraction by x plus 8 and I'll multiply the second fraction by the x minus 2. Let's see how that works, okay? So I'll multiply this one by x plus 8, and I'll multiply the second one by x minus 2, x minus 2. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, so I have a common denominator. It is x plus 8 times x minus 2. That's there. And then I'd have a 15x plus, what is that, 60? 90? Hold on, what's 15 times 8? Well, it'd be 4, 2 is 120, I'll bet, huh? Should be able to do that in my head. 8 times 15. 120, yep. Plus, okay, the second fraction, it has a common denominator of x plus 8, x minus 2, and that's just that right there. And then we'll have a 3x minus 6, right? Well, once I have a common denominator, we can put it together. We can add them, right? So my common denominator was a x plus 8, x minus 2. And then my numerator, let's see, I'm going to have a 18x plus 114. well, factoring won't do me any good. I'm done. I mean, nothing I can do on the top is going to help me out, so it's finished, okay? Doing okay?
Yeah.
Good. Example 5, last but not least, okay? I think if I factor this one, it's going to make it easier for me, okay? So that'll factor into a, let's see, 2x, x, 3 and a 1, plus 1, minus 3. I think that works if I check my double smiley, right?
Cassidy! Mr. Davies, I have to go get COVID tested right now.
Okay,
What was that?
okay. Hopefully it's negative, since we're all hanging around you.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not like I'm sick.
I know,
I hope it's negative.
me too. Doesn't she have to play tennis or something like that? Or is she
No.
done? Okay, what do you see? What do you see? I need a common
I
denominator.
just have to go quick.
Okay,
Two seconds to get caught up.
so they both have a 2x plus 1. Totally right, Lindsay. They both have a 2x plus 1. What, to make a common denominator, the first fraction, what does the first fraction need to make them the same? It's got the x minus 3, right? So to make them the same, I'm going to multiply this one by x minus 3. Right? And now I have my common denominator. So my common denominator is an x minus 3 times a 2x plus 1. The numerator is going to be a 3x squared minus 9x. And the second fraction is just 10 over my common denominator, which is my 2x plus 1 and my x minus 3. Okay, now, if I look at these, I should be able to put it together. I've got a common denominator, x minus 3, 2x plus 1. And then my numerator is a 3x squared minus 9x plus 10. Does that factor? I don't know if that factors. I don't think it'll do me any good. Savannah, do you think it factors? Here, help me out, Savannah.
I don't know. I was trying to, but none of like the quick things I was doing were working.
I don't know if it's going to factor. I'm going to go 5 and 2. I make a 6 and a 2. That's going to work. 5 and a 2 this way. 5 and a 2 that way is going to make a 6. 5 and 2 this way. I don't think it factors, which means that's done. If it doesn't factor, you're finished. Nada, nothing, done. Okay, so homework. I've got a worksheet for us. Let me go ahead and pause this, and I'll work with you if you want on the homework. If you're not done with your rocket, work on it, because I want to launch those next week. Okay? Stop recording. Stop.
Oh,
Yeah.